Faith of a mustard seed. At this point, I think the mustard seed is mustard. At this point, don't let these jobs talk you out of your destiny, your dreams, your freedoms, your ambitions, your fantasies, because they will. What it means is that maybe we don't need a job. That's how I knew AI is taking over recruiting. This is really my life. You have to stay in your power and do what you can do. And then the rest is up to God, is up to the universe, whatever you want to believe in. Hold on 1 second. So a 1 year update. I almost said 1 day, and that's how it feels. Every single day is like a new year. You're just literally going through the motions because you don't have a job, you don't have any income coming in, and it's you and the world and your phone. And it's kind of like, wow, this is really my life. Hold on 1 second. That's actually insane, and I don't know how I should feel about that. But it doesn't matter what I feel. It's already happening. Here we go. So originally, I got into insurance sales because it seemed like the next best thing to do when I was looking on what I wanted to do, because I wanted to be good at sales. Unfortunately, that journey was cut short because I ended up joining a team that was... I'm just going to be nice and be like, they just weren't what I thought. And I thought that I would be able to learn, but I was actually regressing. So I did not join that team. However, I'd like to say that most of the things that I have tried, I actually failed at first, like hard. So it was insurance sales, trading, even making money online through my ebooks. All of it was like crashing and burning for at least the first like 4 months. So I was like, dang, maybe I'm supposed to be doing something else. Maybe I should try to get a job. But every time I would try to get a job, I was immediately rejected. I mean, I'm talking about stuff like barista, cashier. That's how I knew AI is taking over recruiting so hard. Like, it's almost ridiculous. Like, people who are overqualified for jobs are getting rejected because they don't fit the mold of the keywords that the recruiter, the AI recruiter, is supposed to be looking for. So I'm just like, oh, this is even worse than we think. AI is taking over in a way that we're not looking at. But anyway, this video is not even about AI. It's not even about how many jobs I tried and failed. It's about being unemployed for an entire year and what that meant for, me, but in a bigger scope for us, or people who have been unemployed for a long period of time, what that means for us. What it means is that maybe we don't need a job. Maybe we are supposed to be stepping into our real purpose, and we are trying to keep that job as a placeholder, as a safety net. And maybe this part of your life, you don't need a safety net. You just have to have that faith. They say faith of a mustard seed. At this point, I think the mustard seed is mustard at this point. So it's like you got to use the mustard that you have, and that could be different for everybody. Maybe it does mean getting another job, but the job that you're going to get is going to be way beyond your wildest thoughts or dreams, and just really go for that, because whatever you think you can and can't do, you're absolutely correct. So if you can, do it. Being unemployed for an entire year is not easy, trust me, because I am still going through it. I am still wondering what's going to happen, but not really. I've changed my worry into wonder, because when I worried so much, oh my gosh, I was so stressed out. I felt my eczema coming back. I felt so tired, fatigued, stressed out. But now that I am changing my worry to wonder, I'm like, I wonder about it, but then I just do all the things I know I'm supposed to do. So it's like, okay, I know I need money for rent next month. However, I know I could do X, Y, and Z, and that could give me money. So I'm going to do it. And instead of worrying about, oh my God, no, I need this by this time, the universe, God, all that, they don't respond to that, I realized. You have to stay in your power and do what you can do, and then the rest is up to God, is up to the universe, whatever you want to believe in. And I'm like, I've been doing this so wrong. It's kind of crazy. In order to be unemployed for as long as I have been, you have to believe in magic, you have to believe in wonder, and you have to believe that anything can happen at any given point, because that is exactly what has happened to me. There was one time where all my accounts were blocked. All my accounts, I couldn't even get into them, and the rent was due the next day, and even the day of. I am so scared, trembling, in tears. And I'm like, well, whatever's happened is going to happen, and it's supposed to happen, and that's what happened. Like a couple hours before I was supposed to pay rent, one of my accounts were unlocked, boom, and I got to pay rent. And I was like, I have no words. I don't know. Like, there's just certain things that you just don't have control over, and you could just be in control of what you have control of, and everything else you have to let it go. You can't hold on to things so tightly. That's what I've learned. If you hold on to something too tight, you're going to hurt yourself more than that thing. So the biggest thing I have learned about not having a job is that it doesn't really make anything easier or worse. Like, it makes it worse when you are stressed out and worried about where the money is coming from. But, I mean, you can always get a job. You can always be like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Let me get a job. And it may not be the job that you want. It might be busboy. It might be waitress. It might be all these jobs that people think you should get a better one. Meanwhile, you know, we need those people in society, but that's a totally different topic right now. You can get a job. It might not be the job you want. It might be $10 an hour, $12 an hour, $15 an hour, but you can get one. And you can be stressed under that job, or you can bank on yourself and have that job and try to figure it out. That's essentially what I've done, and I've written ebooks about it, and that's just that on that. I say all this to say you should just go after whatever it is that you want to go after. Don't let these jobs talk you out of your destiny, your dreams, your freedoms, your ambitions, your fantasies, because they will. They will dangle stability in your face. Meanwhile, you can be fired the next day and be starting over. And that is essentially what has happened to me so many times, to the point where I'm like, I can determine my own destiny. Even if I get this job, I know they could fire me the next day. Even if I get this opportunity, they could say no and drag it from me. So I have to build my own foundation. I have to build my own legacy. And my legacy isn't just going to be my children. My legacy will be my work of art, my work in general, even if it's art, even if it's philosophy, whatever. I am going to build that for myself. While working for somebody else, I did that. And, you know, we should be more important. And also, just for the record, I'm not encouraging anybody to be as unemployed as I am, because that's a pretty scary feat. I'm not going to lie to you. I literally have no safety net whatsoever. Would not recommend that to my worst enemy. But just know that I am definitely putting myself above these fears of what everybody has, of the fear of homelessness, the fear of never finding love, the fear of it all is behind me. I'm like, okay, I know everybody else is scared of that, but I'm going to not be scared of that. I'm going to do what I believe I should be doing, despite what it looks like in my reality. And that's how I've gotten my reality, is like I have went against the grain, against the fear that everyone else usually does. And I'm like, okay, am I the example? Like, I have to be the example of this. Is kind of crazy, but I mean, I don't have anything to lose. I don't have children. I don't have a spouse. And my family lives so far away. Like, I can do this. I know I can. So I will. And you know what? We can take a page out of Alia's book. And you know, it's funny, Missy Elliott was the only person to say Alia's name right. Her name is Alia. Anyway, she said it in her debut whatever. Aaliyah, I'm gonna say whatever. Aaliyah said that a fan went up to her and asked her, how do you become as big and famous as you? Like, I want to be a star, blah blah blah. And she was like, write a book. Don't try to be don't try to be a rock star. Don't try to be a rapper. Don't try to do none of that. Write a book. And that stuck with me, because I'm like, all I do is write books and talk whatever I want on the internet, and I get money. So I'm like, okay, I'm writing a book about how to survive everything, because I know how to survive it. I've been surviving it. People can listen to me or they don't, whatever. I know that I have the information that most people would want, need, and are even curious to hear. So I'm going to do it. Word Aaliyah. Remember when K. Michelle was like, "Ooh, she's shaking the table." Yep, I'm shaking the table. I'm rocking the boat. I'm doing all that stuff, because we're not meant to just pay bills and die. Like, we were meant for so much more. And, everything has to fall apart before it can get back together. So for me, I just know I have more than a faith of a mustard seed, baby. It's mustard at this point. And I mean, why not? Like, obviously don't be irresponsible, but just try to figure out, like, there are better ways that you can approach something. Like, people keep asking me, oh, are you still acting? Of course. I'm just not, on a Hollywood screen as much as I could be, but that's my choice. It's honestly my choice. I could have any representation I want, but I'm like, let me pause on that. I don't want acting to feel like a chore, because began to feel like a chore. It felt like it wasn't my passion anymore. It was because of the trajectory that I was, doing. So now that I've rerouted that, I feel totally different about it. Everything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. No, you can't. Yes, I can. No, you can't. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I'm sorry. Kidding. No. No, but for real, like, think about why you think you can't do something. And then erase it. Maybe write it down, rip it up, throw it in the garbage, because you can do it. I don't know what it is, but you can do it. And that's what I have to tell myself every single day. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But most of the time, I am right. Every time. I'm like, okay, I can do this thing. So that's why this thing is going to happen, because I said I can do it. And I'm telling you, 10 out of 10 times, it works. So we have to speak things into existence, not just when we're talking about God and like praying to God. We have to meditate, because that's when God is talking to us. And so, whoever you believe in, universe, whatever, everything happens for a reason. Literally. It's in every religion. Okay, well, in conclusion, just know that it's not easy. And if it was, everybody would be doing it, and everyone is not doing it. But you can do it because you are different. You are unique. You are an alien in the best way. And that's how we get things done. We get things done by being that crazy psycho person, but not in a real way, but in a tangible way that is for you. And that's how geniuses get their ideas launched. That's how mad scientists get to a level of a Stephen Hawking. Like, it has to take an unmeasurable amount of grit and confidence and gall to get where you want to be. And what is that for you? You can't let society define it for you. Otherwise, you'll never make it. Period. Hope this helped. Thank you, and bye-bye.